Welcome to my new UFOs. So that was all of step one. That was like step 500. All of that is the lead up to what happened recently, and the recent thing is that I set up an appointment to have a consultation with Douglas L. Jarvis. I'm sorry. I get confused because it's spelled like it's French. Maybe it'll flip on its own. I'll try to flip it for you. They say it real quick, and I thought it was Gervais because it looks French, but it's apparently not. So I set up a consultation with him. It was on September 6th in Minneapolis. That's 5 hours away from where I live, just for a consultation. The consultation is free, but he would not do a Skype consultation. And because I had been looking into all of the different types of things that trans people might do regarding surgeries, hormone therapies, and other things, I already had all of my questions answered except like one. Basically, we drove 5 hours to Minnesota to spend, it was maybe 15 minutes in the waiting room, and then maybe 10 minutes in the office, and then like 10-20 minutes with him as he explained everything and checked me out and agreed that I was a good candidate for I don't know how he said it. I don't know how he said it, but I've been calling it periareolar because that is literally how it's spelled out. Periareolar? Is that what he said? Come to think of it, it kind of sounds like what he said. But I don't know. Anyway, so I've just been calling it periareolar, which is unlike the regular double mastectomy. It's not the regular one, but it's the most common because it's the cheaper alternative, which is 2 incisions underneath the breast, which they pull the fat out that way through, and then they stitch you up. They do some kind of thing with your nipple, and I don't remember what it is, and they also have the drains under your armpits. It's not that one. What it is they do 2 small incisions right underneath your nipple, like literally your nipple line, and they do it that way. It leaves minimal scarring, which is something that I personally prefer, and I would rather wait and save up more money so that I can pay for that rather than doing it quickly to get the one that's going to leave more scars. For me personally, especially because I identify as a trans guy, but I'm not all about my transness, nothing against being trans or people who are proud. I think I've said this in other videos, so it's probably sounding like a broken record for people who've heard like my other videos. Me personally, if I go out into public, I don't want other people to look at me and go, are you a guy? Are you a trans guy? You're a trans guy, aren't you? I just want people to not think about it because I'm a guy. End of story. I don't want that part attached to every aspect of my life. I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm more about my private life. I think that's what it comes down to. I'm more private than a lot of people, and so that being something that could be less obvious is like top priority for me personally. That is why I am going to Dr. Jarvis, because Lane and I have a friend in the trans counseling group sessions that we used to see. We had a friend who was in there who actually had surgery done by Dr. Douglas Jarvis. He actually was cool enough to, oh my god, I was an exploit, which makes it like sound really weird. He actually showed us his chest post-op, and it looked really good. And also, this friend of ours is a person of color, and the fact that Dr. Jarvis not only has pictures on his website of white people and what they look like post-op, but also people of color, what they look like post-op, it made me feel a lot more comfortable with not only him and his morality and his sense of equality, but also with him understanding what the male body is supposed to look like regardless of race. And that, to me, is more, it's very important to me. Ethics have a lot to do with it. So if anybody is watching this and you're a person of color, then if you're looking to have either the double mastectomy or the periareolar, then Dr. Jarvis he has pictures on his website where you can see examples of people of all different races on there. The point of this video I had my consultation with Dr. Jarvis on the 6th of September. It's the 16th today, so that was about 10 days ago. For my personal reference, I'm going to go a little bit into detail, but be kind of vague because this is some personal information. I went to Minnesota with a friend, and I woke up at maybe 6:30, showered, got ready, brushed my teeth, blah, blah, blah. Got on the road. We were 2 hours early. That means that we probably would have like a little extra time once we got to Minnesota because you never know what the traffic's going to be on a 5-hour drive. You don't know what construction is going to be. You don't know anything could happen. There were some complications with directions. It took probably only 20 minutes out of our trip. Problems ensued. Dramatic argument ensued in the car 30 minutes into this extremely important event in my life, and I just wanted to catalog that this happened. So because of my medical condition where I can't drive, I physically could not go on my own, although I was given the ultimatum of we go back, drop off the person who is going with me, and then I go by myself for 5 hours driving, which is something I physically can't do. And being that it was so late notice, nobody else was going to be available to do this with me. So I was extremely offended by that. I felt that it was very crude, given that this is kind of a huge event in my life. And I'm not going to go into more depth than that, but personally, I don't know the word for it. It really gave me some not good feelings. It gave me some icky feelings. I try to just not think about it. So I fell asleep for the rest of the drive, and I literally didn't think about it. And then we got to Minnesota, drove around a little bit, found a garden, spent some time in I don't know what the garden is called. Maybe I'll put it up here. Hi, Binks. We went back to the clinic, had the meeting with Dr. Jarvis, and it went super quickly. He answered my question. By the way, he's extremely sociable, he's extremely charismatic, he's very friendly, he's very easy to talk to, he's calm, and he's professional, and from my consultation experience, I regard this man highly already. I feel completely comfortable with him as the surgeon, as my surgeon. The point of the story is that I had my consultation for my top surgery, and that has happened, and I'm cataloging it because, I'm vlogging it, and because I said I would, because all of you people who have contributed to the cause, I am going to share this experience with you. They also gave me the estimate on the price of the surgery, and it is $2,000 more than I was anticipating. That I'm not very happy about, but I know I can do it. I can manage it, especially with the ridiculous amount of overtime I'm working right now. I can do it. That pretty much sums it up. If anybody has any questions about the clinic, I might be able to answer some things about my experience, how I was treated, about anything of that matter. It was my first experience with Dr. Jarvis. It was very short, and I'm kind of honestly sorry for him because I mean, you have a consultation, you're expecting somebody to have a lot of questions, but I've been researching in depth the types of surgeries that trans guys can get for like 7 years. So I already had gotten all my answers. Poor guy. He's like, wow, you're not treating this like it's very serious. No, he's probably not. He was very respectful. Yeah, so step one, consultation. And I went because it's a formality. I think you have to do the consultation. If you're going to have the surgery, you have to have the consultation. I think that's part of it. I don't know if I could have gone without having the consultation, so I went. I also thought, being that it was a formality, I wanted to. I am not going to regret having gone, although the experience was subpar. Not with Dr. Jarvis. That was good. That was a good experience. The trip there was subpar and fairly disappointing, and that is unfortunate because it's such an important experience in my life. But I'm going to just have to shelf that and put it in with the rest of my life experiences. Not that they're all bad, because they're not. But this cat is so desperate for attention. Binks. What the heck? I will update you next time I have something to update on regarding my transition through top surgery. Okay, Thanks for sticking with me. If you have any questions with anything that I mentioned, or maybe I was unclear on something, I have cat hair in my nose, my mouth, ask in the comments below, and I will answer to the best of my ability. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.